Welcome to the G-Trak assembly video. We're so excited you chose our G-Trak system for your garage. Please pause the video as needed and refer to the manual as well in conjunction with this video. Before we set up your G-Trak, let's go over the parts and tools you need to make sure you've got everything before we start assembling. The tools you'll need to complete the installation. Feel free to refer to the manual as well or pause the video to confirm you have all the pieces. For the first part of the installation, we will be putting together the drive pipe, which will consist of the outer drive tubes, reducer clamps with worm gear clasps, bearing plate, and the center drive pipe with the assembled screen collars. The orientation of where the motor will sit will be dependent on where your power will be. The installation guide along with this video will show you how to put it with the motor on the left side. In the event that the motor needs to be on the right side, just reverse steps 1 to 3. First, we will secure both reducer clamps on each end of the center drive pipe. Lay the center drive pipe on the floor with the set screws facing up and the D-rings facing down on the center screen collars. Do not tighten or secure the reducer clamps yet. Insert the outer black tube with drive holes towards the outside to the left side of center drive pipe, leaving about 48 inches outside of the pipe. Grab one of the outer screen collars with the set screw facing forward and the D-ring facing down. Slide the other black outer drive tube into the right side of the center drive with the drive hole inside. Slide the outer screen collar onto the outer drive tube and measure about 12 inches from the center drive pipe. Next, we will program and install the tube motor. For this step, you should have the tube motor and drive coupling, 2x516 hex bolt, 516 lock washer, and a 516 hex nut. Take out the remote for your tube motor and install the battery with the plus side facing you. Plug the tube motor cord into the grounded wall or sealing receptacle of your choice. Then immediately and lightly tap the rubber P2 button on the backside with a paper clip or pen tip within 10 seconds of plugging it in. On the front side, press up button for 1 full revolution. Press the down button for a full revolution. Now your system is programmed to the remote. After you've synced the remote and the motor, insert the tube motor into the outer drive tube on the left side and rotate to line up the drive coupling with the drive hole. Once it is lined up, insert the two 5/16" and 2.5" hex bolt and add the 5/15" lock washer and 5/16" hex nut on the thread side. Snug the hex nut until the lock washer flattens out. Do not tighten down too hard. Now it's time to attach the G-Trak brackets to the top drive. For this, you will need the following. Slide the left side bracket over the tube motor and through the star bracket. Clip the pin through the hole of the tube motor on the left side of the bracket to secure T-bracket. Tighten down the motor rotation lock. Slide the bearing plate to the left side bracket and using the 1/4 inch by 1 inch black oxide screw and 1/4 inch washer, slide it through the front of the bracket. Then use the 1/4 inch lock washer and 1/4 inch hex nut on and tighten it down. Repeat on the front side and add the logo shield as seen here. On the right side, slide 1 shaft collar over the end of the right side, roughly 6 inches from the end of the outer tube. Insert the 2 caps and push on. You may need a mallet or hammer to tap them in, as this may be a very snug fit. Slide the right bracket over the right side of the tube and slide the second shaft collar over the tube, leaving about 1 inch from the end. Tighten down the outside shaft collar. Push the inner shaft collar toward the outer shaft collar sandwiched between the left side bracket in between both collars. Gently tighten down the shaft collar in a staggered manner to avoid flattening the tube. This should not be over-tightened. Positioning of G-Trak brackets. Using the tape measure, measure from the front wall where the garage tracks are attached to and mark a line on the garage door tracks on both sides at 24 inches. Mounting G-Trak system to garage door tracks. Loosen or remove the safety clamps on the G-Trak brackets. Have a ladder or step under the 24-inch mark, and with the assistance of an additional person, walk the system over and raise the system together. On the left side, raise the bracket up and around the outer side of the track and hook the brackets into place. Verify that your mark on the track lines up with the back side of the bracket. Repeat the same process on the right side, and once both brackets are in place, tighten the knob bolts on each bracket, just enough to keep it in place. Slide the center drive tube so that it is centered in your G-Trak system and make sure the center screen collars are in the correct position. You should have the set screws facing forward and the D-rings facing the ground. Make sure the G-Trak brackets are parallel to your floor and everything looks nice and secure. Tighten up the safety clamps on each bracket. Tighten the lockdown nut on the knob bolt. Now that you have everything lined up, tighten down the outer worm gear to the outer drive tubes. Attach border track brackets. Using your tape measure, measure from the end of the G-Trak bracket and mark your measurement between 36 to 48 inches and mark it on both the left and right side of the track. Loosen up bolts of safety clamps. Slip the border track bracket over the top of the garage door track. Rotate the bracket and slide it to your mark. Slide the safety clamp to the bottom of the garage door track and tighten it down. Snug up the knob bolt and locking nut. The border track brackets should be perpendicular to the floor. Attach impact screen. Use a cable tie and run it through the center grommet of the impact screen and the center collar D-ring with the impact screen facing out. From the center grommet on the impact screen, find the grommets to the left and right of the center grommet and attach it with a zip tie to the corresponding D-rings. You may need to move the D-ring to align with the grommet. You may need to temporarily remove the drive bolt and position the screen collar on either side of the bolt to make sure it can align with the screen on one side or the other to make the screen fit properly. Remember to tighten the drive bolt back into place if you do remove it. Slide the outer screen collars to the end of the screen just slightly outside of the screen and tighten down the collars. Do the same to both ends of the screen and cut off all extra cable ties. When attaching the foam, it's important to know and separate which foam pieces are which. You'll see that you have 2 very thick foam pads, 2 medium, and 2 thin. The 2 thickest foam pads are placed in the center. The 2 medium thickness foam pads are placed in the middle of each side. The 2 thinnest foam pads are placed just on the inside of the outer collars. Then roll the foam pads with the tape seams facing down at the screen. Now we will assemble the bottom screen weight by connecting using the 1/2-inch wrench. Slide the bottom screen weight through one end of the sleeve at the bottom of the screen. Attach border mesh to impact screen. Locate the middle section of the border mesh and line up one end grommet. Use cable tie to secure and Velcro along the top of the screen. Use cable ties and grommets to attach on the opposite side also. Fold over top and Velcro on both sides. Velcro down each side. Border mesh is attached to impact screen. Install lower impact screen stabilizers. Measure the distance from the bottom of the screen with the screen laying parallel to the garage door or wall. We measured ours 24 inches from the door of the garage. Now measure that distance from the garage door or wall and mark the floor with a pencil or marker. The purpose of this is to mark the floor, even with the garage door tracks, to install out tie-down D-rings. You can install your tie-down D-rings anywhere from 6 inches outside of the screen to just outside of your garage door tracks. You can also mount tie-down D-rings to a sidewall. Once you have picked the position of where you want your tie-down D-rings, place your tie-down D-ring with the oval facing the screen and the flat facing out. Use a pencil or marker and trace inside the hole. Remove tie-down D-ring and with a drill and masonry drill bit drill on your mark down about 2. Place the tie-down D-ring over the hole with the inside hole lining up over your new hole as pictured. Using a hammer and one drive nail anchor hammer, the drive nail anchor until it's down tight. Repeat on the other side. If you prefer to not drill into your floor, we have a suction cup option. Clean the floor and stick adhesive discs to the floor on both sides of the screen base. Attach a vacuum suction cup to both sides, attaching tension ropes and sandbags. Connect the shock hook to the bottom grommet of the impact screen. Connect wingless snap cord hook to tie down D-ring or vacuum suction cup. Pull the tensioner to the center and rope is taut. Tie a knot at that point. Cut off extra rope. Optional. Burn end of rope to keep it from wearing out. Attach wingless snap hook to top corner grommet of border mesh. Slide shock hook through bottom outer slot of border track bracket G. Slide tensioner to middle and tie knot. Cut off extra rope and repeat on the opposite side. Same procedure for top inside grommet, except slide shock hook through top. Outer slot of border track bracket. Repeat on right side. Use the border track hook to hook and unhook. Fill sandbags with sand. You can use sandwich bag as a liner, or place 1 or 2 cornhole bags inside the sandbags. Attach sandbags to the bottom front of the border mesh with plastic carabiner clips. Attach lineup decals. Attach first decal to the bearing plate on the tube motor side. Attach second decal to outer drive tube. To store your G-Trak, unclip sandbags from border mesh. Unhook the bottom screen tension ropes from the tie-down D-rings, or suction cups. Unhook top tension ropes with the border mesh hook. Velcro the border mesh sides to the top of the border mesh. Clip the top tension ropes together. Clip the center tension ropes together. Clip the bottom screen tension ropes to the center tension ropes. Step away and push the up button on your remote control until the bottom weight is up and behind the impact screen. Then push the center stop button. Your system is secure and out of the way. Thank you again for purchasing the G-Trak retractable screen.